How's it going, y'all? My name is Michelangelo and welcome to my channel. So normally I wear a red shirt. Today I'm wearing a black shirt. Actually, let me show it to you really quick because I think it's really funny. But so the image is reversed, but it pretty much says I work out in black, like it's a funeral for my fat. So I personally find it really funny. I don't know where I found it, but I found it somewhere, and I don't know. I like it. I'm down 20 pounds, by the way. Since literally the last video I posted, I am down 20 pounds because that last video I filmed months ago, and then obviously I took a huge break. But anyway, we're not talking about me today. We're talking about Crunch Fitness, and this is more of an impressions of Crunch Fitness. I have gone at least 3 times a week for the past 4 weeks, so I have some experience with Crunch. Most of my workouts are usually to an hour and a half. So if you do the math, that's what, 3 to 4 hours a week, 4 times 4, that's 16 hours of essentially experience that I have at Crunch. And this is pretty much how I'm gonna summarize it. And what I'm gonna summarize it as is it is like a Gold's Gym light, or at least my specific Crunch is, because it is fairly large. It's like half of a strip mall. So with that being said, what constitutes a Gold's Gym light? So essentially you get all the features of Gold's Gym with very slight downgrades or maybe slightly older equipment, but you get to pay the price of, say, like a beginner's gym like Planet Fitness, or what other gym that's also $10 a month. Maybe your local gym's $10 a month. So for me, it'd be El Paso Fitness. It's $10 a month, and that is very much a Gold's Gym, but it is a very outdated and very unsanitary gym. Not to throw shade at EP Fitness, because I mean, if that's the only thing you can do and that's the only thing you can do in El Paso, I'm not knocking you, but the couple times that I've gone there, I've gotten sick pretty much every time, because not only is it difficult to find the sanitation stations, but they're usually empty. So, and that was a small rant about EP Fitness. But anyway, so let me explain a little bit about Crunch. And no, this is not an advertisement. I'm not sponsored by Crunch or anything like that. But Crunch did just open near my place, and it's closer than the Planet that I was previously going to. And I'm gonna make a lot of comparisons between Crunch and Planet Fitness because they are in the same price bracket. And I'm gonna explain how Crunch is superior than Planet, but not superior to Gold's. So with that being said, let's get started. What are some of the biggest pros of Crunch Fitness? Well, you got the price. It's the base membership is $10 a month if you do a 1-year contract. It has a field and track area. It has free weights, both barbell and dumbbell. Dumbbells up to 150 pounds. It has isometric machines of 3 variants. So you have like the Planet Fitness isometric machines. Then like with the cables and the rubber, you have the hammer strength ones, which instead of having rubber grips, they actually have like metal knurling, which is great. And then they have a 3rd set of isometric machine, which I don't know if it's a proprietary machine, but it's a machine I've never used before, and it's part of their circuit where like when you do an exercise, your body physically moves in the machine. It's really hard to explain, but it also feels really weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just supposed to simulate motivation or whatever because it's like a circuit. But either way, it was a different experience. I tried it once. I didn't really care for it, so I stopped using them. But there are 3 different isometric machines. Crunch also has like dance classes. They have their cycling class, of course. They have trainers. They allow chalk or very light use of chalk because I've seen people use it and they've never said anything. There is no lunk alarm if that is something you really hated. So you don't hear anyone ever screaming, but there are people that are grunting because there are genuine lifters there in the field and track area. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm going right off the cuff right here. You have punching bags, you have ropes, you have sleds, medicine balls, kettlebells, monkey bars, the like angled pull-up bar thing where like you can do a pull-up and then like hop up one and pull up. Like the bar doesn't move, like it's just all bars all the way up, but like you can like just jump up and do it that way. What else do they have? They have some like unique machines. So for an example, they have a single leg deadlift like cable machine, like dedicated to single leg deadlift. And I haven't tried that machine out yet because I love my sumo deadlift, but I thought that was kind of cool, to be honest. Like just something different, in case for whatever reason, like you just need that isometric movement to kind of help get those gains for in case your deadlift's not doing it for you, or like you're plateauing at deadlift and you just need that little extra oomph. Like perfect. And of course they have their cardio area. just like every other gym. I'm not going to go deep into that because at this point, all gyms are almost identical in that sense, except for Planet, where they have an emphasis on their cardio, because that takes like half up their gym space. The cardio in my gym takes up maybe a quarter, maybe, and I think I'm being generous because it's only 3 rows. And granted, it's the whole length of the gym, but when you include the field and track area and then the weightlifting area and all that stuff, it's actually a very small portion. The smallest portion of the gym is actually the core and ab station, and I think it's because like, and those are or where the machine, like not quote unquote machines, but like the stands are. So like, you know, when you're doing your hanging leg raises or your hip raises or like your Supermans, like those like kind of style machines, or your decline crunches machine, like kind of like bracket machines. I don't know what to exactly call them, but that's a very small area in the field and track area. But from what I can tell, it doesn't get used that much anyway because everyone else would much rather use the field and track stuff anyway. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this already, but there's trainers, there's classes, and not just classes for like cycling, but like, so like every, I think Monday at 10 a.m., there's a guy that does like a circuit course in one of the field and track zones. There's 2 of them, by the way, at my gym specifically. And like he consumes that entire zone for an hour. But like from what I see when I'm working out during that time, like he's busting. Like he's making them work. They're doing box jumps, they're doing ropes, they're doing like knee raises, like all core work, everything. It's a full body workout. It's very cardio and athletic intensive. And like that workout does include the warm up and all that stuff, and it's a pretty impressive thing. I don't know how much that class is, but I'm assuming it's relatively cheap because it's always full. I've never seen him have like an empty class, and I think that's just great. Also, the music is a lot more modern, and they are not afraid to be more explicit in their music choices. So you know, and they cycle the music. It's either every day or every couple hours or whatever. I think realistically, it's whoever's at the front desk. And I'm not saying they're playing it from their iPhone or anything. But I'm sure Crunch has like a dedicated playlist. But I'm saying that the playlist is not censored. So sometimes I'll come in, we'll say like 6 p.m. on a Wednesday. And I'm referring to 6 p.m. on Wednesday because I went last Wednesday at 6 p.m. And they were playing rap. And not just like old like 90s rap, which is kind of, if for 30 years later, 90s rap is pretty tame, right? They were playing modern sounds, and they were explicit. Like, I mean, I get it. At the end of the day, we are all adults. Caveat on that here in a second, but yeah, so they are not afraid to put explicit music on. Again, I don't know if that's unique to my gym or if that's just Crunch in general. There is a daycare, there is red light therapy if you're into that, and there is massage chairs for like your cool down or whatever if you're into that. The locker rooms are full kitted, so that means full showers, full locker room, full lockers, I should say. Like when I say full lockers, not just like half lockers, like some of the lockers are full size lockers. You can rent lockers if that's the thing. If you're a daily gym bro and you just don't want to take your shit to the gym every single day, excuse my language, you can rent out a locker for a month at a time. And dry sauna. I don't know if I said that already, but there is a dry sauna in each locker room. What else? If you ask, they have bands and they have barbell clamps. And that's one thing I really enjoy about Crunch, and one thing I don't, and this is the main reason why I don't go to my university gym, is that Crunch doesn't care if you use clamps or not. The clamps aren't like, in order for you to get clamps, you have to go to the desk and specifically ask for them, and then you don't have to sign them out or anything. They just give them to you, and then you just give them back when you're done. I only use clamps for sumo deadlift, for obvious reasons, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, with that being said, the cons, and there's only 2 that I can really think of. And the first thing is sometimes you get a very different demographic of people depending on when you go, right? And that's the nature of a quote unquote budget gym, is that since the gym is priced so cheaply, you get all ranges of people at all levels, and that lack of consistency might be a negative for you. For me, it's not, right? Just because I don't care. I'm there to do my thing, and as long as someone's not sitting on their phone on a piece of equipment for like 45 minutes, I really don't care. But with that being said, And this is pretty much the main con of this entire experience for me in this past 4 weeks, is that my Crunch Fitness allows 16 plus, I believe. Or it might be 18 plus, but these are very clearly high school students. And I can tell because one, their age, they tend to have very clean skin, i.e., tattoos, and they just look really young. If you ever go to a Gold's Gym, there are high schoolers at Gold's Gym, but it's usually because their parent is also like a fitness enthusiast, right? And they're usually working out together. Whereas here, these high schoolers are, I'm presuming them to be high schoolers. They might be college students, like first year college students. I can't really tell. They tend to come in groups. So they tend to come in groups of 4 and 5, and they tend to share 1 or 2 machines. And the issue with that, for me personally, is when that happens in that kind of age group, at least at the trend at my gym, is that this turns into a social gathering more than a workout session. Don't get me wrong, they are working out, but they may not be time efficient because they don't have anywhere to be. And that's what I'm saying is why I'm assuming they're high school students, is because they don't have any form of urgency whatsoever or respect of the people around them when it comes to being time efficient on a machine, especially if that's the only machine in the gym. Now, with this being said, I am not knocking high school students about going and lifting outside of their high school gym. I think it is actually healthier that they are lifting at Crunch than at their high school gym, because it honestly just rips all that ego out. Because I remember when I was lifting at my high school gym, like being surrounded by a bunch of like-minded individuals, I did a lot of ego lifting, and I could have really hurt myself if it wasn't for the fact that gym area was so limited on how often you could lift, right? You could only lift like 3 times a week or something like that, and with very specific hours, and you had to maintain a certain grade point average and so on and so forth. I'm getting off topic, but I do think that it's a healthier mindset for them to be lifting at Crunch instead of lifting at a high school gym, personally. And then also, again, because there are trainers and stuff, and Crunch being essentially an adult gym, there are rules that they will follow, and there's actually proper instruction and all that stuff. And I'm not saying that your gym coach is not qualified to instruct on lifting, but you have people there that were like, that is their profession. They are not a gym teacher, they are trainers. So I think that's a really big deal as well. So, and that's pretty much all I got. A few other things. From what I can tell, Crunch does allow chalk, if not very least liquid chalk. I have seen it in the gym, but it's nowhere at the same level of Gold's where it's just fucking everywhere. But there is allowable chalk. You can be barefoot if you want. My Crunch, the deadlifting stations have it's wood instead of all rubber. So my socks kind of slip, so I just leave my shoes on. And I think that's pretty much it. I think that's all I got to say about it. I personally really love this gym. I definitely, I don't know if I'll ever be a lifetime member, right? I would like to get to a point in my fitness where a home gym is more preferable, because right now the reason why I'm going to Crunch Fitness is because for me right now in my current fitness journey, I need to be a product of my environment. And that is another thing that I kind of want to hit on, is that at Crunch, you get the whole range of people, right? You get the novices, you get the beginners, the intermediates, and the advanced lifters. You don't really see any pro lifters in there, right? Everyone, I would say most people are probably in that beginner phase, where I am, where they've been lifting the 6 months to 2 years, right? I think most people fall in that phase. And then again, you see some intermediate, and then clearly some advanced lifters. So if you are looking for something better, just kind of summarize this up. If you're looking for something better than Planet, but something not as expensive as Gold's, Crunch might be the place for you. Because like I said, you get a lot of the benefits that you get at Gold's Gym, but you don't have to deal with the negative stigmatism of Planet. And I'm gonna kind of go over that a little bit. I say negative stigmatism, or a negative stigma, or a negative perception of Planet, is because I personally believe, and this is through experience, that Planet is actually worse for novice lifters than a Crunch or a Gold's is. And hear me out, right? We as humans, we are social creatures, and we are a product of who we surround ourselves with, regardless if we actually know them or not. So with this being said, when you go to Planet, or at least the Planet that I went to, you see a lot of novice lifters, and more importantly, you see people that have been there for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you see literally no progression. So with this being said, obviously there's a caveat to this because everyone has different fitness goals and so on and so forth. But when in my 6 months time at Planet this year, a lot of it was just I didn't see any results from anyone. Like I would see people regularly on a regular basis, and 6 months later they look exactly the same. Now, with that being said, maybe they're not trying to be transformative. Maybe they're just trying to maintain whatever physique they have. But the people that I'm referring to are novice lifters, are beginner lifters, are people that they went to the gym to change their life and to change their body, and then 6 months later, I see no progression. And the reason why I think that is because at Planet, because they like pursue such a hard like agenda of being, just accepted and like, for like a judgment-free zone, blah 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 blah, that it creates this like social circle of stagnation. No one is actually improving. With that being said, there are obviously outliers. There are people that go to Planet and they get jacked or they get really fit. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the average person. But when I go to Crunch, the average person there is seeing how that they're either beginners or intermediate lifters, like they're with it, like they're there, right? And you see them progress, right? I have seen someone, I started the same day as someone else, and I've seen them improve over time. Just like not saying that I've sit there and I'm just like watching them be like, yeah, I see you doing those cable bicep curls. Oh, I see that last week you were at 22 and now you're at 33 pounds. Good job, bro. It's not like that, right? It's just like, at a glance, I see like, oh, that guy who is very clearly overweight, he's still here, and I'm glad. That's awesome, right? Because he has an incentive to be there, right? Because he's overweight and he's trying to change his life. And more importantly is that I actually see him go up in weights, in either his lat pull downs and his rows. I'm on cables a lot, if you haven't picked up on that by yet. So I tend to see the same people all the time because I'm usually on the cables as either my primary or supplementary exercise depending on the day. But overall, you can see the improvement. And again, since there are free weights and since there are different exercises other than isometric machines and Smith machines, there are different levels of lifters. And at Crunch, there's this environment that since there are advanced lifters and intermediate lifters there, they have no problem sharing their knowledge with other people, right? Just like, I think it was last night, I believe. It was either last night or the night before. There was very clearly this novice at the gym, and they were using a piece of equipment inappropriately. And literally after his first set, the guy that was right next to him, which was very obviously at minimum an intermediate lifter, like stopped him and said, hey man, stop doing that. Let me show you how to do this properly, because you're going to hurt yourself. And I will say he was a better man, because I definitely was not going to take time out of my day to teach that novice lifter how to lift properly, because then I have a feeling I would be there all day. All right, now I'm kind of really getting off topic and I'm kind of ranting at this point, so I'm just going to end it here. Essentially, in summary, Crunch Fitness I think is a good deal if you want something better than Planet, but not as expensive as Gold's or a Gold equivalent. And I personally think that the environment at this, because again, Planet and Crunch are at the same price point, the environment at Crunch is better, with the caveat of the high schoolers being there. And like I said, the main reason why I don't like high schoolers there is because it becomes more of like a social hangout place than a workout place. And if someone's more time constricted like myself, that doesn't fly very well in my opinion. The only other thing that I can really mention, and this, I should have mentioned this way earlier in the video within the first 5 minutes, is that if you are very camera shy, you will not like Crunch Fitness if the high schoolers are there. They use their phones like mad as fuck, man. Like they are constantly recording, they're constantly snapping pics. Like I don't know if this is for the gram or for the Snapchat or TikTok or whatever. So if you don't like the idea of being recorded or potentially being recorded, Crunch may not be for you, or at least Crunch during the times where high schoolers are there may not be for you. With that being said, I don't know have been recorded. I would assume that I have been, with how many interactions I've had with high school students and how much and just how many there are. I'm sure somewhere out there is a video of me lifting something, not being the primary portion of the video. They're videoing themselves and then I just happen to be in the background. So if you are camera shy because of X, Y, or Z reason, then maybe Crunch is not for you, because from my understanding, there is not a camera policy at Crunch as there is at Planet or at Golds. So like I said, just keep that in mind. Yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. This video went on a little too long, but yeah, I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please like, share, and of course comment. I'd like to hear your thoughts if you are a long-term Crunch member, or if there's some questions that you have about Crunch Fitness that I didn't go over. Again, I am not sponsored by Crunch. I have no affiliation to Crunch. It's just, this was a new gym in my area that I've never heard of before, and I wanted to try it out, and it was the same price as Planet, so I was like, why not? All right, guys. Again, my name is Michelangelo. Thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all real soon.